Hi guys, welcome back to the next in the series of playthroughs for Phantasy Star Portable 2 and Portable 2 Infinity. In today's video we're going to pick up from last time where we've just come back from a relic site. We've just been introduced to some of the members of Little Wing, so we've met Chelsea and Kraz. And we're about to go on a tour of Clad 6 and get to know Amelia a little bit more as well. Just as a reminder, these videos for PSP2 will go live to members only first, and then we'll go live to everyone else a couple of days later. So if you are interested in seeing these as soon as they're released, you can join as a member to the channel, which you can do by just clicking the join button underneath this video. But with that said, let's get started. So I think what we'll do first is we can see that both Chelsea and Kraz both have some extra dialogue, so let's go through that just so we get a better idea of what's going on. And just as a reminder, I will not be voicing the characters, mainly because I do not want to voice Chelsea.
あいつは常連だった店のママに保護してやってくれって押し付けられたんだよ。店の付け払いがちょっとでかかったからな。断るんならガーディアンズに突き出すとか言われたからよ。
Yeah, so he basically got bribed into looking after Amelia because he had a massive bar top.
家出だったか知らないが、ママが言うにはある日路地裏であいつが倒れていたんで拾ったんだと。
So it looks like Amelia was found in an alley, so potentially we don't know what's happened in her past. We don't know if she has any parents or anything. She was just found abandoned one day.
世話していたが、名前と年齢以外何も明かせなかったみてえだ。ろくに働きもしねえし愛想も悪い。そのくせ飯はがっつり食いやがる。いい迷惑ったらありゃしねえぜ。
Yes, I know Kraz complains about Amelia a lot, but you do get the impression that he does genuinely care for it, he just doesn't show it.
追い出したいのは山々なんだが、次の保護者に委任手続きを取らずに追い出すと、俺が社会的なペナルティ食らっちまうからな。
He keeps phrasing it like, you know, he's forced to look after her, but I think you can tell that like under all this there is a genuine care for Amelia.
こうなったら自分の飯代くらいは稼いでもらわねえとというところでお前さんが来てくれた。とにかくバイトも長続きしねえし、働こうって気力もない。
I do like how he says that she's never held a job for any amount of time. Like, I don't know how old Amelia is in this game, but I mean, she's not that old, really.
家事能力もねえし、このままだったら一日家でゴロゴロしてるばっかりだ。いつまでもただ飯ぐらいはこっちも困るんでな。ちょっくら使えるようにしてやってくれ。
So he's essentially almost palmed Amelia off onto us. Because it can't be bothered dealing with her. Do you have anything else? Yeah, so he's just telling us to go to our room. But before we do that, we'll have a word with Chelsea as well. And this is why I do not voice the characters. So it looks like we're part of some larger organization called Skyclad that's based on Param. And from what Chelsea's saying here, it looks like Skyclad have their fingers in a lot of different pies. So Skyclad has several different resort colonies. We're on Clad 6, which is the 6th colony, and Little Wing is a security firm based on that 6th colony. So I'll go with why security contractor.
ああ、そこはあんまり気にしないであげてね。いろいろあるのよ。うちのボスにはね。
So okay, so this immediately gives me some kind of bad feelings that there's something with the Skyclad CEO, because she's mentioned something about we're a security contractor probably because of the CEO's history. Probably not something we should worry about. So yeah, just keep our heads in the sand, I guess.
まあ、ここら辺のことはそのうち教えてあげるわよ。それより今はリトルウィングの話ね。入社について厳しい書類審査とかはなし。犯罪歴があっても腕さえあれば OK。
That's actually really funny. So Little Wing really don't care who they bring in. They will take in criminals, anyone. As long as you are good enough to pull your weight, you can join Little Wing. That makes me feel much better.
だけどリトルウィングはあまり知られてないから社員も50人そこらしかいないのよ。
So we are a very, very small organization, which I guess makes sense if we're called Little Wing.
でもここにはいろんな人が来るよ。前回持った人だって腕があれば入れるし、お客さんが海賊だって好まないね。
I'm not really sure that's a great thing, Chelsea. I mean, yeah, it's good that we have variety in Little Wing, but I don't think the variety should be thugs and pirates.
他の軍事会社から犯罪者まがいとか叩かれることもあるけど、この会社を頼りにしている客もいるのよ。
Now, I don't speak French, but I'm pretty sure I know what Le Colony Pinal is.
まだまだ小さい会社だけど、頑張って会社大きくするよ。
So Chelsea's obviously got ambition. Got anything else to say? Yeah, so they're just all telling us to go to our room now. So we'll go to our room, check that out. Now this threw me off the first time I played because this is your room here, but Amelia is nowhere to be seen. She said she would wait for you outside your room. Just before we go there, there is another character here to meet.
見ない顔だな。ということは久々の新入社員か。うん。ようやくクラウチも動いたようだな。
So I'm guessing by the way she's talking that she's also a member of Little Wing. I think everyone in this area is based in Little Wing, to be honest.
私の名はクノ。リトルウィング所属の者だ。君にとっては先輩となるのだろう。
Yeah, so this is Kuno and she's another member of Little Wing.
ここは入社までの経歴を問われない反面、入社後の実績で全てを評価される完全な実力主義の会社だ。腕に自信がないのなら早々に去った方がいい。自信があるのなら好きにするといい。今のは軽い脅しのつもりだったんだが、全く動じていないところを見ると君は自信がある方なのだろうな。君が私と敵対しない限り私は君の味方だ。いつでも話しかけてくれ。
Yeah, so Kuno is kind of the very sort of serious, a little bit stern character in Little Wing. But she does like joke around with you a little bit as well. And now as if by magic, Amelia is phased into existence.
眠。あ、やっと来た。ちょっと遅いよ。ちゃっちゃと終わらせて、私は眠りたいんだから。早く来てよね。
Yeah, I like how Amelia is like, I want to get this room tour done as quickly as I possibly can because I want to go back to bed. She's quite a one-dimensional character at this point, but she is really, really funny. So it's another tutorial time. So much like PSU, we also have access to our own room in PSP2. And it works in pretty much the same way. So you have a shared storage box, again, much like PSU. You have a dressing room, again, much like PSU. You have a Visiphone. The Visiphone actually has some extra things in it in PSP2, so there is things like combat logs that will tell you how many of each enemy you've killed and so on. It'll also keep track of which items you found, which I think is a really cool feature. And your My Synth is in your room as well.
基本的な使い方の説明はこんなとこかな。あとは適当に使ってみるといいよ。その間私は休んでるからさ。
Yeah, so she gives you the quickest possible room tour and then she's like, right, I'm going to bed now. I will say at this point that the standard room that you get in this game looks awful. It's such a horrible design.
やば、本当に眠くなってきた。
So, and she wasn't lying because she has immediately fallen asleep on your bed. So even if I wanted to rest, I can't because Amelia has kind of stolen my bed. So you can see we do get a little bit of... So we do have a little extension to the room in PSP2 here, which I don't think was in PSU. But you can see it is a very, very basic room originally. Yeah, so we actually have this here. Now this is filled up because it goes across all your characters, but you can see here it shows you various different things that you found. It's just a really cool feature so you can see how much you've actually collected. And I like that that persists across different characters as well. So next, we'll try talking to Amelia. So that's clearly not the course of action, so the only thing we can do is try and leave.
待って。ここでなら二人で話ができそうだから。私はミカ。訳あってこの子に宿る意識のみの存在です。
Yeah, so this is Mika. Now, we have seen her once before, if you remember, in the relic site, when we got killed by defending Amelia. Something happened to Amelia which looks similar to what's just happened now, and Mika showed up then. So there's obviously some connection between Mika and Amelia.
この姿も状態もすでに失われた古の技術によるもの。失われた技術を旧文明のものというのなら、私は旧文明人となりますね。
So quite a common running theme in Phantasy Star is sort of lost technology and ancient civilizations, and that's no exception in PSP2. So Mika is a member of what's called the Ancients, and she's from essentially a species and civilization that was from far, far before our current civilization. A lot of their technology has now been lost.
途方もない過去にこの星を生きていた原初の文明を持ち得る人類。
Yeah, so they were actually the first. Yeah, they were actually the first people to ever colonize Garal. So your character at this point is completely sort of baffled of what's going on. So you can say, you're selling what now? Or Amelia, you there? So I think I'll go with Amelia, you there, because at this point you're really not sure what's happening with Amelia.
疲れていたのでしょうね。今は浅い睡眠状態にあります。心配せずともすぐに目を覚ましますよ。
So Mika seems good enough so far, so at this point I'm not really worried about her well-being or anything.
私は
エミリアが安らいでいるほんのわずかな時間だけこの体をお借りしているだけです。この些細な時間で構いません。どうか私の話を聞いてください。
So she obviously wants us to tell us something important because she wouldn't have stopped us otherwise.
この時代の背景などはエミリアの記憶から把握させてもらいました。3年前グラール太陽系を襲った危機、シードの襲来。
And just a reminder that this attack of the siege from 3 years ago, this, just a reminder, is the events of PSU.
それは私たちの時代にも起こったことなのです。はるか昔、旧文明が栄えていた時代、私たちは突如襲来したシードにより滅亡の危機へと陥りました。長い長い戦い、私たちはついにシードの元凶であるダークファルスの封印に成功しました。
So yeah, the ancients have previously battled the Seed and also fought Dark Falls as well. And again, if you played Phantasy Star games, this is kind of a recurring theme with them where fault continually comes back.
しかしその頃にはすでに三惑星の大地はシードに汚染されており、回復は不可能な状態でした。そして旧文明人の肉体もまた同じようにシードに汚染されていたのです。このままでは星も人も滅亡するのは時間の問題でした。そこで旧文明人は賭けに出ました。大いなる時を超える復活計画を実行に移したのです。まずシードに対する強力な浄化をこのグラールすべてに対して行い、三惑星を蘇らせ。
So, I mean, just from this, you can tell that the ancients obviously had technology that was far in advance of our own. So, firstly, they purified the entire Graal system of the Seed.
次に新たな人の素体を作り上げ、それを大地に放ちました。
Then they literally created humans.
そして旧文明人は汚染された自らの肉体を捨て、精神だけの存在となり、長い眠りについたのです。
Yeah, so then they became essentially thought and didn't have corporeal bodies anymore. And then after that, they just went into essentially like a deep sleep.
そう。新たに作り出した人が高度な文明を築き上げたとき、その体を奪い、復活するときまで。
However, they didn't really have good intentions, as you can see. So, although they created humans, the initial thought I had was that they created humans to basically repopulate the planets again and save the Graal system. But their actual intent was to get the humans to recolonize and then steal their bodies so that they could come back. So they had very nefarious intentions.
計画は実行に移され、作り出された人たちは高度な発展を遂げていきました。旧文明人の精神が眠る場所へのつなげてはならない道を開くことができてしまうほどに。もうお分かりだと思います。旧文明人によって生み出された人とはヒューマンのこと。
Yeah, so you can get the impression here that the ancients have obviously created the humans to, yes, they wanted to repopularize the Graal system, but they also did it because they wanted then to steal their bodies so that the ancients could come back again. So they were essentially using humans.
今このグラールは 旧文明人の生み出した罠に狙われているのです。突拍子もない話とお思いでしょう。ですが、いずれも事実なのです。どうかこの忌まわしい計画を阻止するために手を貸していただけないでしょうか。
So, I mean, the first thing you think here.
この子は心を閉ざしきっていて、私の声を認識してくれないのです。
Yeah, so the first thing you think here is that obviously Mika wants to stop this plan that the ancients have set from happening. But my first thought is Mika is an ancient herself, so why does she not want this plan to go ahead? Like, it initially makes no sense. Yeah, exactly. So your character here is like, why do you want to stop the plan? Oh, I'm not buying it. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to just completely discount her. I want to know why she wants to stop this plan. Bear in mind that she's an ancient as well.
確かに私は旧文明人ですが、現代への回帰を望んではいません。
So she doesn't want to be reborn again.
私たちは滅ぶべくして滅んだ。世界は次の世代に任せるべきなのです。
Okay, so her thoughts are basically, we screwed up, we got brought to the brink of ruin, and she thinks that was the fate of the ancients. That's how it should have stayed. So she's totally against this plan of stealing human bodies to bring the ancients back.
それに、あなたにとっては、すでに私の存在は人事ではないのです。なぜ、縁のないはずの私とあなたが話すことができるのでしょうか。
That is a really good point. And why are we the only ones that can see Mika?
そして、あのレリクスで自律起動兵器に襲われたのは、本当に夢だったのでしょうか。あなたは生きているのでしょうか。
Yeah, so you know how I mentioned in the first episode that we actually died in the relic site, and then we somehow hadn't died? Well, yeah, this is why. So all of that really happened.
はい。あなたの肉体は自律起動兵器に砕かれ、一度は完全なる死を迎えました。
Yeah, so like I said, I wasn't lying in the first episode, so we did actually get killed by that automaton in the relic site.
その時、エミリアの強い願いによって発現した私のプログラムが、あなたの体を再構築しているのです。
And Mika basically reconstructs you. The only issue I've got with this part of the plot is it works if you're like a human or a human character, but if you're a cast, surely you could just be rebuilt anywhere.
こうして話している今も。そろそろこの子が目を覚まします。詳しくはまたいずれ。
ちょっと寝ちゃったかな。
Yeah, so it appears that Mika will only really speak to you whenever Amelia sleeps or when she's tired. I guess because she doesn't want to just appear in front of Amelia and freak her out.
あのさ、
Why are you staring at me?
見つめてるの？
Yeah, I suppose from Amelia's perspective, it must be quite freaky. Just waking up in somewhere else's room with them staring at you. So you can go, Mika? Or I was watching you sleep. I'll go with Mika for this one because I've done this one before. And it goes pretty much as you would expect. She basically just calls you a pervert.
ミカ？誰それ？私のこと？
Yes, obviously Amelia has no idea who Mika is.
あのさ、自己紹介はしたでしょ？私はエミリアパーシバル。ちゃんと覚えてよね。もう。
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're so useless. You can't even remember my name. So definitely a bit of a, a bit of a swing in the story. It's certainly something unexpected at this point. So we now know that there's some ancient civilization who now wants to steal all the bodies of everyone in the Graal system to take for their own. But we're the only person who knows that.
それじゃあ次はマイシップの説明かな。ほら、ここからマイシップへ移動できるように認証登録されてるから、ちょっと行ってみよう。
So I got really excited when I saw this for the first time because I was like, oh, you get your own ship. Yeah, all it is you go for this war and you have another little lobby. This is your quote-unquote ship.
社用だから大事に扱ってね。そこの端末からミッションを受託することができるようになるんだけど、まあ詳しくは後でチェルシーから聞けると思う。つまり基本現場へ向かうときはこのマイシップを使って移動するってわけ。
So essentially think of this like the quest counter. So this is where you take on all your missions from. And the counter directly behind it is the Infinity mission counter. And that is very, very important in PSP2 Infinity because you can actually make custom missions from that.
Mika?
But she's like, will you shut up about Mika? Who is Mika?
Huh?
But interesting that she does know about the ancients.
で、あんたどうしたの？さっきから私のおでこばっかりジロジロ見てるけど、何かついてる？
So I'm not going to ask about Mika because it's clear that she has no idea who Mika is. I will ask about the ancients in general.
旧文明の人が私に宿ってる？そんなわけないじゃん。それならなんで私が気づかないのよ。
Like I was just like, is it a tumor? Like when I said it's inside you, I didn't mean it's literally growing in you.
ああ、もう変な出来事は私とあんたのレリクス体験記だけで十分。
I bet at this point Amelia is just thinking, why is my partner just an absolute nut job?
きっとあれもそれも全部夢よ、夢。レリクスでのことを思い出すぐらいなら仕事をした方が100倍マシ。
Well, we've done what Kraz said. We've actually got Amelia to want to work. Just by annoying her so much that she actually wants to get away from us and work.
あっと、そうだ。仕事で思い出した。私のパートナーカード渡しておくね。
So yeah, just like other games, you can get partner cards of NPCs, and that allows you to then bring them in quests with you as well. But of course we need a tutorial for this as well. Yeah, it's essentially a very similar system to other games where you can just invite NPCs to your party.
これでよしっと。あ、言っとくけど、この会社では私の方が先輩なんだから、きちんと敬うようにね。
So you want to be in charge, Amelia? I mean, that's fine, but if anything goes wrong, does that mean we just blame you instead? I'll say yes, Mom, and see how she responds to it.
うわ、ダメだ。なんか気持ち悪い。
She's like, nope, nope, abort.
ごめんごめん。今の冗談。今まで通りの感じでお願い。私もその方が話しやすいし。それにしても今日はいろいろなことが一気にありすぎて疲れた。
Yeah, she's saying she's tired already. Literally all she has done is show you your room, sleep, show you the ship, and now she's tired again. You can understand why Kraz is kind of annoyed with her because she just does no work whatsoever.
初めての仕事でしょ？いきなり事件に巻き込まれちゃうし、変な夢は見るし。
Yeah, so she's like, oh, I'm sorry you had to start a new job when you're clearly hallucinating.
細かいことはいいや。とにかく私もあんたも無事だったってことが重要だもんね。で、さあ あの時のことなんだけど、なんて言えばいいのかな。あんたがいなかったら、私はきっとレリクスの中にずっと取り残されていたと思う。それに何よりも私の言うこと信じてくれたし。
Yeah, she's more thankful that you believed her than anything else. You get the impression that people have just wrote her off constantly.
まあ、あれは夢だけどさ。
Yeah, in the dream that she had, yeah, she still refuses to acknowledge that the relic site was actually real.
でも、夢でも嬉しかったかな。ちょっと、あんまりきょとんとしないでよ。言ってる私も恥ずかしいんだから。ダメダメ、ストップ。私の話ばっかりでずるいから、あんたのこともいろいろ教えてよ。なんて言ったって、私たちはパートナーなんだからね。
That's a really cute art, actually. Yeah, I said it in the last episode, but I really, really like Amelia as like a main character in this game. She comes across as this little brat initially, but she is actually a really funny character. And there's a lot more to her than you realise. So we'll keep going for a little bit longer just because I realise we've done virtually nothing this episode so far. It's the kind of game where at the beginning there's just a lot of text thrown at you. The first time I saw this, all I could think of was Star Wars with the, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi.
これからいつでもミッションカウンターからお仕事できるよ。リトルウィングの一員として頑張ってちょうだいね。
I do like how they're like, oh, you're a full member of Little Wing. You can now do missions for us. We don't actually tell us what I'm doing. Like, you said you're a security firm, but like, you haven't explained anything about what the job involves or anything. This is just telling you about different missions you can get from the counter. So obviously we want to be focusing on the story missions because they will actually progress the story. We can also now remodel our room as well, so we can change the background in our room.
あと、社長さんから特別任務があるときは、私が連絡するね。
So we can now do Undersea Ruins and Plains Overlord. So Plains Overlord should be familiar to anyone who's played PSU. You're not on any particular assignments, so maybe you should try out an open mission or two. So I guess it just wants us to do a quest. Yeah, so we don't have a story mission at the moment. So Undersea Ruins is essentially the relic site that we did in the first episode. So there is Ragan. So what level is Ragan? Enemy level 6. You can see we do have various ranks for the mission. So we've got C, B, A, and S. Then we also, within PSP2 Infinity, we also have Infinity rank. You can see here the enemies are like level 200 plus in that. So yeah, not for us yet. So we could maybe try doing Plains Overlord. Yeah, so you can see here, so we brought along Amelia and also our MySynth as well. Yeah, this should be a very familiar quest to anyone who's played PSU. unfortunately, at this point, we still have very little in the way of actual damage or anything. But the fact we've got the NPCs with us should help a little bit. The only thing I will say about the NPCs in this game is that they have a very, very small sort of detection radius, so enemies have to be right next to them for them to actually do anything. Okay, so we need a switch for that one. It's a very full-featured game, this, so it has pretty much every quest from PSU in it, as well as additional quests. So again, if you didn't see in the last episode, the way it works in this game is you basically build up chains with normal attacks and then end the chain by doing a Fortnite or a charge shot. Hey, level 4. I tend to find that sometimes the quests are a little bit shorter in PSP 2. I don't know if it's because maybe the PSP can't spot the enemy count or something, but I do tend to find that some of the quests are a little bit shorter. So at some point we will progress and we'll get some different weapons, because I feel like we could really do with a shotgun as well, just to take care of groups. I mean, at the moment though, honestly, the charge shot from the rifle is just wasting things, so I'm not too worried. This was a little thing you used to be able to do in PSU as well. If you stand behind here, the enemies generally can't hit you. It's cheese, but there's a few places in PSU and PSP2 that you can do this. So nothing particularly challenging yet, but this is, again, still very early in the game. So occasionally in PSP2 you'll get these enemies that have this little aura around them, and these are basically champion enemies, so they have boosted stats, they get boosted experience. I believe they also might have increased rare drops rate as well, and there are 3 different levels of champion. This is a basic one. But you see he gave like 18 experience instead of about 7. And again, it's just another way of just varying the spawns up a little bit. By occasionally throwing these champion enemies at you, it makes quite a big difference. So you can see now, although we are doing an old PSU quest, we do have some new enemies in it. So this guy at the back is not in PSU, that's a PSP2 unique enemy. I mean, you can tell by the way it acts that it's essentially the same as one of the things we fought in a relic site. Actually a pretty decent experience, to be honest. And we did also get some twin handguns there, so that might be another option we can go with. Yeah, let's try those actually and see what they're like. They're also a ground element as well, which is actually really good against the Varas. You can see that the charge shots, they're not just like basic ones like the rifles, so the charge shot for the twin handguns actually looks quite stylish. So it even has its own like unique Fortin arts, which I think is really, really cool. I think I said it in the previous video, but this is honestly one of my favourite Phantasy Star games. PSO will always be my favourite, but PSP2 and particularly Infinity they're such good games. It just takes everything from PSU, fixes some of the issues I've got with PSU, and in some instances it does feel a little bit more similar to PSO as well. Particularly like the rare drop hunting as well. So this is another champion enemy. This is like a level 2 champion, I believe. So I dropped a brand, which is actually the next saber up for us, so that should be an improvement. There are some new Fortin arts weapons as well, so you can see, for example, that the saber has a Fortin art called Infinite Storm. That's actually a new Fortin art for Infinity. It may have been in PSP2 base as well, but I know it definitely wasn't in PSU. Not that I remember anywhere. So I think we're almost at the end of this. I should probably be using the rifle on these because they're fire element. Now I want to switch back to the twin handguns. Again, using the right elements in this game is really, really important, just like PSU. These guys have like no health whatsoever. But they're kind of annoying because they actually close in on you quite quickly. So I've actually got a special warp here. So this just says welcome. And we have what's probably a boss there. Let's check this out and see what this is. So like basically every Phantasy Star that I can remember, there is a cake shop. This is a random chance of appearing, so this doesn't appear in every quest. This is like a rare chance of appearing. So what do you have? So we can get a teapot that's actually a weapon. There's a remodeling ticket for your room you can get. There's also a chair you can get for your room as well. So every time you find the cake shop, you get 1 stamp. And then it takes 3 stamps to fill up 1 stamp card. And then you can trade in stamp cards to get prizes. So it's just a cool little thing. So yeah, this will just show up randomly in some quests. And if you get this, you just collect a stamp card. And then when you've got so many stamps from visiting it so often, then you can exchange that for certain items. So we've got our stamp card. And what do you sell? But yeah, I love that the Nora Cake Shop is still a thing. If you don't know, they're in PSO as well, and I'm pretty sure they're in several other games as well. So you can buy these for money, actually. Now, how much money do you actually have? I'm guessing probably not much. Yeah, we have virtually nothing. So can we actually buy anything? I'm not really interested in the chair or the room, to be honest. The teapot would be cool, but I don't have enough money for it yet. So we'll just leave for now. Yeah, so that is the cake shop. And again, that is a totally random chance of appearing. There's loads of little things like this in PSP2 as well. There is even a chance, and I'm not making this up, of getting some fast food restaurants. So I have no idea how this is going to go, because I think he is higher level than us. So much like PSU, Plains Overlord is the Ragan. That's just pretty decent damage, actually. Yeah, this guy's level 10, so he's like double our level. So in this CR base, you just want to build the chain as much as you can. I'm not sure why that hit me twice. I think the tail has a bit of a lingering hitbox, unfortunately. It does look like I'm doing a bit more damage to the tail, actually. Yeah, I'm not having that. That shouldn't have hit me at all. Where are you going, Dragon? Why have you gone right over the other side? So it's a little bit of a challenge just because he is quite a bit higher level than us. He will land eventually. I think there is a way of doing first-person shooting as well, but I don't know if I've got it set up at the minute. And honestly, the way that the controls work in this, it just doesn't work that well. Yeah, it feels like the tail is like the slightly better one to go forward range. It's not the most interesting fight in the world, to be honest. just trying to build the chain up and just hoping that the NPCs don't break it too early. I believe there is a way in this game as well of actually ordering your NPCs so that they only do certain things. I don't need to tell me how to do that yet. I'm sure I remember that there's a way of telling them not to break chains. I'm not really sure if we were meant to do this quest yet or if we're meant to do Undersea Ruins, but I think we can beat him though. Now, a charge shot from the rifle is actually doing really nice damage. Well, nice damage for this stage in the game anyway. It definitely does feel like a bit more of a challenge than PSU. He says as it dies. But again, I think a lot of that was the level difference, so he was level 10 where I was only level 5. Well, at least he wasn't a total pushover. So we've got range level 2, so we're a little bit of a boost to our HP and tech. And like we expect, we get a few boxes to check as well. There won't be anything fantastic in these, you know, because it is only a C rank quest that we did. So we did get an armor. Is that any better than what we've got? Yes, it is. Yeah, and actually has decent fire resist as well. And we got a sunflower, which I think is a room decoration for our room. So I'm guessing she's starting to craz. I'm not going to say who was that for because it was clearly Kraz that she was starting to. So, what tab? Yeah, I didn't think it'd be yours, Amelia. Like, that wasn't kind of why I asked. So it was literally a bar trying to check on him to make sure he'd paid his tab. So it looks like it's a running problem with Kraz that he mounts these bar tabs up and then just doesn't pay them. Yeah, it does seem a bit odd that he sort of berates Amelia for never working, but then he works until noon and then goes in a bar for the rest of the day.
おっさんに今の伝えなきゃ。
So Amelia does have something to say actually, so we'll check on her first.
いろいろ覚悟は決めてるけど、正直この仕事だけはしたくなかったな。他の仕事ならできるのかって？まあそりゃ今までのバイトとか全部長続きしなかったけどさ、私にも転職ってのがあるはずなんだから見つかるまで待ってほしいよ。
Yeah, I like how she's like, yeah, I've never really worked much before, but I'm sure the perfect job's out there. You know, the problem is obviously the job and not her. What do you want to do?
やりたいことか。考えたことなかったかも。何かをやりたいなんて思ったことないし、だいたい無理やりやらされてたしね。
Have you got something else to say?
あんた一人部屋だったよね。ああ、いきなり一人部屋とかずるいったらありゃしない。
It's luck that I got a room, so does not everyone in Little Wing have their own room?
いい加減私も一人部屋になりたいんだけどな。
Guess not.
そりゃまあ一人は一人の苦労があるだろうけど、私みたいにおっさんと一緒とかよりは100倍マシだよ。
Also, she has to share a room with Kraz.
料理もしない、洗濯もしない、掃除だってやらないから散らかり放題。全部私に押し付けるんだもん。
You can kind of see why Amelia is the way she is. She's essentially, the way I see her is that Kraz is essentially rubbed off on her, and his bad habits have rubbed off onto her.
まあこれからどうしようもなくなったら逃げ込む場所ができただけよしとするか。何人事みたいな顔してんの？あんたのとこに決まってるじゃん。私は先輩なんだし、笑顔で迎えてよね。
Yeah, so she's basically saying that whenever she has problems with Crash, she's just going to crash in your room. So into chapter 2. I love that there's a Goral Channel 5.
はーい、グラールチャンネル5ヘッドラインニュースキャスターの春です。今日のニュースをピークアップ。着工より2年、先月ついに完成した亜空間発生装置の完成式典がパルムの同盟軍本部で行われました。式には亜空間理論を確立した総合科学企業インヘルト社の夏目修代表取締役をはじめ、開発に加わった軍関係者や多くの企業が参加しました。
So obviously some kind of big technological advancement on Param.
今回披露されたこの装置により亜空間発生実験が成功すれば、有人での亜空間航行計画へと大きく前進することとなります。現在グラールが抱える資源枯渇問題に光明をもたらすこの研究、絶対に成功してもらいたいものですね。
Yeah, however, they're deciding that this could be the solution to all their problems with resources. So their solution is to research subspace technology and then use that to go somewhere else to get the resources. It just feels like it's moving the problem, honestly, but...
今日のグラールチャンネル5ヘッドラインニュースはここまで。ニュースキャスターは春でした。バイバイ。
Yeah, I love how there's a Goral Channel 5, you know, it's obviously not inspired by a certain other Sega game.
なんでいきなり怒ってるのチェルシー。
今のニュース、スカイクランド社が出てないねん。空間高校の計画にいっぱい出資してるんだよ。うちのいい宣伝になると思ったのに。
Yes, Chelsea's like, it should be us on the news, not them.
スカイクラッド社はうちの本社じゃん。リトルウィングの宣伝にはならないって。それよりチェルシー、おっさんいる？
ああ、そういえば社長さんが2人に用があるって言ってたね。ニュース見ていてすっかり忘れてたよ。
まあいいけど、奥におっさんいるんだよね。
社長さんのとこ行くならついでにこれもお願いね。
ランジェリースポット、リッチベルベット、ダグオラシティ店。
Yeah, I wonder why he's got a receipt for that. Especially as it's from Dagora City, which is on Mortube, which is where the beasts are from. Bearing in mind that he was looking at pictures of beast girls in bikinis earlier.
ねえ、このいかがわしい領収書は何？
経費じゃ落ちないから自腹だよって伝えてね。
あのエロ親父、ツケの払い忘れだけならず経費の無駄遣いもするか。
はい、文句は奥でね。
Yeah, Chelsea's just like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. That's your job. Let's go give Kraz the bad news.
ちょっとおっさんって、うわ、酒臭。
よう来たか。
来たかじゃないっての。いつもの飲み屋からまた電話来たんだよ。いい加減ツケを払ってほしいって。それにこれ。
ああ、これは資料の経費じゃねえか。どうしてお前が持ってんだ。
He's like, you should probably shouldn't have that. Just hand that over, and no one needs to know anything.
こんないかがわしいものが経費で落ちるわけないでしょ。常識で考えろ、常識で。
ああ、バカ、分かってねえな。こういう根回しも必要なんだよ。
He's still trying to pass it off as a business expense.
まあいい。それよりも仕事の話だ。
Yeah, just deflect that one, Kraz. Let's just talk about something else.
喜べ。お前たちにふさわしい仕事を見つけてきてやったぞ。こいつは緊急かつ重要な依頼だ。急ぎ探してほしい奴がいる。
人の捜索？何かの重要参考人とか要人とか？
んにゃ、俺が前に金を貸したやつ。つまるところ借金の取り立てだ。
It does make you wonder how he's loaning money to people when he constantly can't pay his bar tab, and he's trying to put receipts for lingerie on business expenses.
依頼主おっさんじゃん。そんなの自分で探しに行け。
やがましい。どっかのただ飯ぐらいがレリクスでの仕事をポガったからろくな依頼が来ねえんだよ。
それを言われると。
Yeah, Amelia's like, oh, yeah, my bad.
捜索対象者の名はワレリー・ココフ。51歳男性。種族はビーストだ。ワレリーの船はモトゥブのクロウドッグ地方と場所が特定している。シティでもカジノでもなく、とても奴には用事がなさそうな偏僻な場所だ。
場所まで分かってるんならなおさら自分で行けばいいじゃん。
何か言ったか、ごくつぶし。
なんでもないです。こんな酒臭い場所にいたら飲んでもいないのに酔っちゃう。さあ、行こう行こう。
Yeah, Amelia's like, oh, can we just get away from him because he stinks of booze? And Chelsea wants to talk to us again, so we'll check with her.
チェルシーってさ、ほんと仕事が楽しそうだよね。楽そうでいいな。何より外で仕事しなくていいんだもん。私も受付やってたいよ。
そうね。それはエミリアが誰にでもめちゃくスマイルできるようになったらね。
Yeah, Chelsea's such a weird character at this point because you might have noticed that certain times she speaks in a completely different accent. It's almost like she's a different person.
もちろん、クレーム対応も笑顔笑顔ね。
笑顔か。
困ったお客さんにもスマイル。嫌なことがあってもずっとスマイル。
Yeah, I feel that having worked as a receptionist before several years ago, I feel that on a personal level.
私はすぐに顔に出ちゃうみたいだからダメだろうな。チェルシーは接客の仕事もやってるからスマイルとか慣れっこだもんね。
あら心外。私はいつも心からのスマイルしてるよ。
It actually gets painful reading Chelsea's text sometimes because you have to, like, the cogs are whirring because you need to try and figure out what all the French means.
そもそもなんで接客の仕事とうちの受付嬢を兼任してるの？大変でしょそれって。
接客の仕事も好きだし、お金貯めてお店持って前に世話になったママ迎えて恩返ししたいからね。
Yeah, so Chelsea works 2 jobs. She works as a receptionist for Little Wing, but she's also a hostess in a bar as well. But she's doing it because she wants to get money to make her own bar.
好きって言うからにはきっと楽しいんだと思うんだけど、どういうところが楽しいの？前にいた店でも飲んで絡む困った客とかもいたじゃん。それに偉そうな客とかさ。
でもそういうお客さんが社会を支えているのよ。どんな仕事をしているかは様々だけど、私たちとは切り離せないものを生み出す人たちね。みんなそれぞれの仕事でプレッシャーや言えない悩みを抱えてる。
I think she's sort of implying here that... So Amelia was saying that, you know, how do you deal with all the people who, like, get a bit too touchy, or people who, you know, tell you things that you don't want to hear. And I think Chelsea's kind of implying here that all the things she tells them, some of which is very, very personal, I guess she can use that to blackmail them in the future, possibly? I guess that's what she's maybe implying.
私はそういう人たちを笑顔にさせたいのよ。また元気に自分の仕事場へ戻れるようにね。
Yeah, she's saying that she wants to do it so, you know, so they've got someone to confide in and so they can go back and feel happy. But I get this impression with Chelsea that there's also this element of, if you do screw me over, I know everything about you and I will blackmail you.
働いてるお客さんに感謝。この仕事はね、感謝の気持ち届けられる。笑顔見れると嬉しいのよ。幸せ。
なるほど。チェルシーにとって天職ってやつなのかもね。
うん、自信持ってうなずけるよ。
Yeah, she's a very interesting character, Chelsea, at this point. You can't really get an idea of what she's actually like, because you get the impression that her whole sort of act is a bit of a farce. But I guess that is kind of part of being a receptionist or a hostess as well. You have to put on this sort of false persona to make people feel happy, I guess. So I think what we'll do is we'll end that video there for today. So next time we will go and start to look for this beast guy that Kraz wants us to search for, and we'll try and do that job. But I hope you enjoyed this one so far. As I mentioned at the beginning, these will go live to members first, and then we'll go live to everyone else a few days later. So if you do want to get the first views of these videos for PSP2, feel free to join as a member. Also, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like or subscribe as well. It really does help the channel out. But yeah, we'll end that there, and hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.